Right, over to Castleton. Hi folks, so just there, can you see it? That's a castle overlooking Castleton, not surprisingly. So yeah, I'm at the start of the Limestone Way. So why not join me and we'll see where we get to. Come on. So we're leaving Castleton now, and our first evidence of limestone. Well, needless to say, I'm doing that one. So I guess this is the official start, although I had to come over from Edale. So directly above us now is Peveril Castle, and that was a castle from the Norman times, so it was actually built in 1086, and clearly that's where Castleton or Castletown gets its name, and the village itself didn't exist until the castle was put in place, and of course it's got a great natural defensive position. So I think that's the first finger post of the Limestone Way I've seen. I must have been going 4 or 5 miles at least. Glorious, glorious. Well, as you can see, we're going past the appropriately named Limestone Way farm. So folks, previously I've done the Sandstone Way, the Gridstone Way, and now attempting the Limestone Way. 46 miles across the Derbyshire Dales. And it's probably going to take me about 3 days or so. Well, that's my hope. The only problem is you have to walk to the start from the station. And I chose Edale, so that was about 3 miles to get to Castleton. So when you get to the end, which is a place called Rochester, then it's about another 4 miles to get the train as well at Youlgreave. So about 54 miles in total, I think. But the weather today is absolutely gorgeous, as you can see, and I'm enjoying the limestone. Right, let's talk in. Must get walking. I'm with my daughter today, so that is Victoria. So as you can see here, welcome to Edale. And so we're going through lots of these dales. In fact, it now says there's 5 of these dales. And after this one, I think the next one's called Petersdale. So how about that? We're at a place called Millersdale, and we've stopped for a bit of a break at the Angler's Rest. Done about 12 miles so far. That does include the walk over from Edale to the start. Interesting name, but that's where we're going next. Flag. So the horses of Flag. Beautiful.
It's my stick.
Right, I think we're flagging now. Gonna have to go. Well, this looks a bit strange, but it's self-evident when you realise what it's for. But I was just admiring the tractor. That is brilliant. So we're on the outskirts of Monyash and we've come to this sign. But the thing that's got me scratching my head is dawn. So is that when the frogs come out? Or is that the name of the frog? Or is that the name of the artist? If you know, obviously let me know. And there is a bit of a sign on the back as well. There you go. Thanks from the toads. So this says that the village cross dates from circa 1340 and it relates to the fact that charter was granted for a weekly market on a Tuesday and a 3-day fair to celebrate the festival of the Holy Trinity. The other thing is that I like is it says these holes here was where the lead miners used to test their drills, having taken them to the smithy. Not sure they should have tested them there, but there you go. Well, as you can see, we're set up just outside Monyash and we've done our 15 miles for the day. It's I think round about 7ish, and next on the agenda is getting some food down us. But the other good thing is there's a water trough over there, and if you've seen my video on hydration, you know the trick of getting fresh water out of there. So we're all set up in a good place. Moon's out as well. Well, as you can see, a frosty morning indeed. What a beautiful morning. Leave no trace. Right, back up the hill and onward we go. So it would seem I was wild camping in Ferndale. Yeah, just down there. But now over the stile I go. So there's a sign over there, a polite notice. Calves are cute, mums can be spicy. Stay on the path please. So, not much of a path to stay on though. Bit muddy and icy this morning. These are old pigsties, medieval, no less. Oh, this looks fun. I'm going into Ellastone. Well, as our next destination, Youlgreave, and it's up all of those steps up that way. Right, well, I've got a change of plan. So originally I was doing Castleton to Rochester, but there is this bit of a loop you can do to Matlock as well. and I've been to Matlock a few times and I really like it, so I've decided I'm going to add it into the equation as well. So you may remember at the start it said from there to there was 26, there to there 46. So I don't know how much extra I'm adding, but extra it is indeed. And so we're going now this way, down into the valley towards Youlgreave. So you can see Youlgreave in the distance, and we were this side of it in terms of where we followed the river, and now we've come up the hillside there. We're now heading over in this direction, kind of up and around that hillock there. So we're going this way now, towards Robin Hood's Stride, quarter of a mile. So in the distance you can see some standing stones, and in fact there are supposed to, it's actually called 9 standing stones close, but there's only 4 apparently. I can just about count them. There's one near the tree that's not as obvious to see from a distance, but yeah, 4 out of 9 remain. Right, let's get back on the track and find Robin Hood now. So this is actually a lead ore house. So this is where the lead miners would store their lead overnight. So it's like a, as it says here, a night safe in a bank. Yeah, and this is the best ore house in the Peak District. And apparently there was, you can see just in the background a chute that they would put the lead through into here. And it has the vaulted ceiling, all part of the security. Right, we're now going up that track across the road. But now we're on the track to Bonsall. 1.25 miles to Bonsall. To say apparently a carving exact replica of the old man of Bonsall, original early medieval carving, early representation of a Derbyshire lead miner. So, first sighting of Matlock. Right, as you can see, we're in Matlock now. So this is Matlock Bridge, and the fun fact about Matlock Bridge is it's actually a bridge of two halves. So it was originally built in the 1400s, but then widened in 1904. And if I zoom in, you'll be able to see what I'm talking about in terms of the two halves. So yes, just been to Matlock. Unfortunately my daughter had to go home from there, so she caught the train at the station there. It's the only place with a station nearby, but it did give me opportunity to do in essence the part which is Castleton to Matlock, the 26 miles, come back out, gone through Bonsall again, and I'm now on my way to a place called Grange Mill, but going through some fields at the moment. There used to be a lot of lead mining going on. So there's a shaft down here, for example, but I'm also now going on to Grange Mill. I was going to show you down there, but actually there's nothing to really see, so let's continue. Yep, so I'm now on my way to Grange Mill. Then eventually we hit the High Peak Trail, and then I think kind of hoping to get to Thorpe by the end of the day and find a place to well camp. Right, definitely less talking now. Need to concentrate getting through these gates. Oh. Right, I have a feeling I should leave those guys alone and concentrate on where I'm going, which I do seem to have lost the path a little bit. Bye guys. A few more up there. And where am I going? I think it's this way. Yeah. So I guess this must be the mill at Grange Mill, on a very busy main road. But yeah, if I remember rightly, there we go. So it says this stone was laid by Teresa somebody Pole Horton Hall, March the 20th, 1875. And there's the press from the mill, I guess. Interesting door. Very much empty now. Bit of a shame. But it is very close to a very busy main road, so cross the road very quickly, and we're going up this way. So as you can see, we're at the High Peak and Tissington trails. And we've got a sign saying Limestone Way this way, which we'll do in a minute. I'm sure you can see this track. It's not hard to imagine that this was a railway track. Anyhow, enough of that. Need to get on. We're walking the Limestone Way. And here, it's a little boundary post. Not quite sure what the history of this one is. Yeah, a bit strange. So I've been grinding up this hill for a while. I thought, what can I do to keep myself motivated? And then I thought, yes, it's you guys. Please subscribe, press the like button and share with like-minded people. And of course, I enjoy your comments as well. I love getting comments and answering them. I really, really do. So, yeah, please inspire me some more. Okay, I need to keep going and save my breath. See you later. I wonder what will be over the brow of this hill. So down there we have the small village of Bollington, but I think it's probably more like a large farm set of buildings. And then we have the little church over here, which is medieval church. We're going over to Tissington, which is over in that direction. But you can see it's a lovely, gorgeous day. I can't believe it was -2 this morning. It kind of looks locked up. Not surprising, as it's not in use anymore. Right, onward I go. So we're entering the village of Parrich now, but look at the big house on the top of the hill. Not sure I've ever seen a bus shelter as solidly built as that one. So right in the distance, towards the top of that hill, is where we've come from. And we went down and steeply up, and now we're on a railway bridge that just happens to be passing the flat trail that we crossed before. This time I have the luxury of a bridge. So in the distance you can see Tissington Hall. And then we have the church over here. And in fact the footpath goes through the churchyard. So we're on an old turnpike road which actually connected Buxton and Ashbourne. Therefore, this is what the milestone is. So it says Cheadle 11 miles. There's a bridge there. So this is Coldwall Bridge, and it was built to carry the turnpike road over the River Dove. So I'm just outside Thorpe, and as you can see, set up my tent. Bit of a wild camping edge of a field. Therefore, because I'm outside of Thorpe, I've done about 25 miles with my side trip to Matlock. Maybe a bit more than I wanted to do, but I feel good. It's about 7, half 7, something of that ilk. And yeah, probably got, I think it's 10 or 11 miles to finish the trail tomorrow. But then I've got to use the Staffordshire way to get to Youlgreave. I think that's going to be about 4 miles. Anyhow, I need to get my tea on, get some dinner down me, and enjoy the rest of the evening. And hope you do too. Right, see you in the morning, guys. So guess what day it is? Yes, Easter Sunday. Present from my daughter. Bounties, my favourite. It's going to be a good day. And especially as I've only got 11 miles to the end at Rochester and 4 miles then to Youlgreave to get the train. So yes, no more talking. Let's get cracking. Leave no trace. Not even Easter eggs. I'll have to pick that up later. But here's the weather. Yep, a little bit misty. Well, just checking. I definitely need to go this way. Come on, guys, I need to go. Come on. Shh, Papa. Come on, give me space. Come on. Oh wow, that is a baby one. Yeah, you're really interested, aren't you? I suppose not a lot happens. If it wasn't for the Limestone Way, they'd have no entertainment. Right, I definitely need to get on. So I'm at a place called Ellastone, and this is Ellastone Bridge, built in 1777. And just over there, you can see where the toll house was. Luckily, I'm not going over the bridge, so no toll for me. But now, we follow the river. So Rochester Church is there, Oh yes, I've arrived. Not a lot to say about the place really, but I'm not too far away from the bridge, which is the actual end point of the Limestone Way. So my guidebook says the finish is when you come out of Westview, which is opposite to JCB Academy, onto Mill Street. And in fact, when I look around, the last or the first signpost is actually here. So I'm using the grounds of the JCB Academy as my finish point, as it happens to be opposite the finger post that's either the first or the last in the series for the Limestone Way. Hope you've enjoyed the journey. I certainly have. Hope to see you one day on the trails, and of course don't forget, thumbs up for the dogs. Bye folks.